Hello Internet! In this video we are going to be looking at Hugo, which is a project that takes Markdown and turns it into a static web page. So this might be useful if you need to, say, document some tool you're making or something. The big thing that I see this being useful for is, say, a portfolio page where you need to show off your work, or you just need to make a personal site or something like that. If you need something for a project, this seems like a really handy tool for doing that. I've made one site with this, and so we're going to be starting from scratch. I've never done Hugo on this computer before, so we're going to be installing it and doing everything from the ground up. So I'm on Windows, so I'm going to be going through Chocolatey, and hopefully that's going to work. If you're on, say, a Mac, there's a brew option, which is similar to Chocolatey. It's a package manager for Mac, and there's instructions here for Linux as well. So what we need to do is just get started. There's a quick start here. I will link that, and that has Mac instructions. This is more in depth. So we need to get down here to Chocolatey. So what we need to do is install this with Chocolatey. There's a really easy way to do that. Choco install Hugo confirm. Confirm is just going to automatically confirm all the options, so we don't need to do anything else. So in order to get this working, I'm going to need a PowerShell client that is running as an admin. I'm pretty sure that just totally blacked my screen, but that's all right. Once this starts, we should just be able to enter this, do that, and then I'll need to restart my shell. After you install these things, when you install a CLI tool, you just need to reset your shell, because that's just how shells work. Why is this taking so long? There we go. Apparently you just need to type. Okay. So if you don't have Chocolatey installed, it's pretty easy. I'll put a link to that as well, and you can just get started. But then it's just Chocolatey install, and then the name of the package you want to install. So we'll just confirm this. There we go. And now this is going to run through and install the package. So this is something that somebody has configured that actually knows what to do and where to put things and all of that fun stuff. So once this is done, we'll pick back up, and we should be able to start doing that. I'm going to restart my tools after this, and then that's where we'll be picking up. So this may take a bit, so I will cut the video here. All right, so I've switched things over, restarted everything. You do have to restart Visual Studio Code as well if you're doing this. That was a mistake that I've made in the past. So anything that has a shell, it's best if you just restart it when you do this kind of stuff and install these things. But we're in a folder that I'm using for something else. That's fine. I've moved my camera so we can see the terminal. And what we need to do is create a new directory. I'm just going to do this from here. So let's just make a directory, and we'll call it our blog. Sure, why not? So we can just go into that directory, and let's just run Hugo new, and I think that's all we need to do. Unable to locate config file, you need to create a new site. So Hugo new help. Let's see what this has to say. Ooh, not that. There we go. New site. Okay, so there's two things that you can do. You can create a new site or a new theme. We want a new site. So Hugo new site. And it expects a path, so we can give it that as well. Hugo new site blog. I'm pretty sure this is going to create another nest. We can fix that. Yeah, so now we have two blog things. I'm just going to pull that out, move it, replace it, or not. Tried. We can just rename this, sure. Blog 2. When I forget how things work. Then I'm just gonna delete the outside one, bunch of dings, and rename this back. It's all just flat files, so there's no real issue with doing what I just did. But just know that it creates a new folder. If you want to create it in the same directory, why not? Let's just go up a directory, make another one, and we'll just call this Hugo temp. If I go into there, I should be able to just go Hugo new site dot, and it should create the site in the current directory. Or crash Visual Studio. Also an option, apparently. So we'll see what's going on there. It shouldn't hang like this. Huh. Maybe you shouldn't do that? I've never actually tried that, but guess we're learning something. So I'm going to restart Visual Studio. Yeah. Let's restart and not do that. All right, so we're going to pretend like none of that happened because I have no idea what happened. We're just going to move on and use our blog. So if I go into this blog directory, this is what it looks like. There's some archetypes, content, data, layout, static, and themes. Themes are a way to like quickly theme things. You saw there was a way to do new sites or new themes. You can create your own theme, or you can download your one from their site. I'll show you those quickly. So these are going to be some themes. There's some, hold on, I'm getting lost. Yeah, install and use a theme. There's a whole bunch of them. This isn't what I want. I've gotten lost. Oh. Of course, there's two buttons named themes, and they do different things. Why wouldn't I expect that to happen? So, these are a bunch of the themes you can do, and you can just pick them. All of them have installation instructions. I'll just pick this one. There's a way to just download the theme. The alternative is to clone it into that repo, just using Git. And that's pretty much it. Some of them will have different features. Some of them will add like mermaid.js, like we walked through before. So there's just different things. Depending on what you need, you can pick one. But we're not going to do anything. I'm just going to show you what you get by default, because I don't actually know, because I themed my site immediately. So we're going to find out what the result of this is. What we end up getting is this fun new thing that has our base URL. Don't care about that right now. The language, there's a way to add multi-language support. So if you want to have a Spanish site and an English site, for example, that's possible. And you can actually have duplicate content for that in both languages. Hugo generates static content, so it just generates a bunch of HTML files and some JavaScript and some CSS, but it's all self-contained. There's no external sources or any database or anything. It's all just inside itself. So this is pretty much the configuration for that site. There's a bunch of different ways to do this configuration. There's a TOML file, which looks like this. You can rename this to a YAML file or a JSON file. And then you just have to change the names of the parameters, and everything stays the same. It just looks different. So if you're doing like YAML, it'd be like base URL colon HTTP something something something. Or if you're doing JSON, it'd be like this. And you get the idea. So it's just a different way of representing it. And depending on what your preference is, you get to choose. So it doesn't really matter. Most of the important stuff is going to be in this content folder. And so that's where we're going to be doing most of our work. But before we do any of that, we're just going to start our website. So to do that, there's a Hugo serve. And that's actually going to serve your website. And there we go. It wants to go and get something from the marketplace. We don't care about that. And you can see it's watching for changes right there. And serving pages from memory. Cool. And this is the URL for our website. So if I open that, we get a blank page because we don't have a theme or anything like that. It's just empty. Not the most interesting thing. We've created nothing except we've added all of this stuff for no reason. Great. Let's not do that. Instead, let's create a new content. So in order to create something new, we can actually just do, let's call it, you can do nested stuff. So the way this works is, think of it like a tree. There are different levels of how things work. So I can say, let's create parent slash child1 slash child. Apparently Visual Studio Code is having a lot of issues because I can't delete anymore. Great. I don't know what's going on. I just installed an update. That's probably the broken bit. But this is nice. Huh. Maybe, yeah. Or maybe it's just my computer. My entire recording is like dying right now. One sec. Okay, I think I fixed it. I'm not 100% sure. This may all just go up in flames, but we're gonna keep trying. So it's still broken. Definitely still broken. How do you revert a Visual Studio Code change? Because this is not cool. Oh, cool. Sorry, I have a resource manager over there. Visual Studio Code is using 10 gigs of RAM. What? This is my only instance of Visual Studio Code. What? I'll be right back. Something's going on. This wasn't exactly how I had anticipated this to go, but I think we're back. For some reason, Visual Studio Code was like cycling through a whole bunch of my memory, and it was just destroying everything. It was literally going from like 100 megs of RAM to 10 gigs in less than a minute, and then cycling back down. It seems to be steady now, but we may hit more issues, so I'm sorry if that happens. Anyway, getting distracted. This is sort of where we're at. We have just a blank web page. Nothing exciting. If I do Hugo new and do a help, we get all this fun stuff. Now, last time we did a new site. We created a whole new site. That's great. But we don't want to do that anymore. We already have a site. We want some content. So the way to do that is Hugo new and then the name of your content. So we're going to call it parent child, and I'm actually going to call it index.md. And so what this is going to do is create a tiered tree. I'm in the wrong folder. Go into our blog. You need to do this at the root directory of whatever site you're working with. It won't work anywhere else. So if we do that, we get our new content created. You'll see it creates this folder here, and we get this nice Markdown content. There's some extra stuff. This is going to be YAML. So we have a title, which is going to be child. That is coming from right here. So this is actually the index page, or the header, if you will, for this child element. We can put sub things in there. So let's just create 2 pages just so we know what's going on. And we'll call this subchild.md. And now we get that as well. So now we have a subchild and a child. Great. So you can see both of them are created. We have child, that's the title. We've got a date here. It's set to be a draft, which means if you publish this right now, this won't show up. This is just a working copy. It's just for you to play with. If we set this to false, it will get published. So that's sort of how that whole thing works. But the rest of it is all just Markdown. So this is a subchild. And let's stick some C# in there. And again, it's just Markdown. So everything that would normally work in Markdown works here. There's some extra stuff that you can do. We're not really going to cover those there. They're slash commands or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's the wrong way to short commands. I don't know the name. But those are effectively defined by either a template or part of Hugo itself. And they can do things like create table of contents or embed mermaid.js or other things. And so those are going to depend entirely on what theme you're using as far as what gets exposed. But for now, we get all of the normal Markdown stuff. So if I want normal C# code, we can do a public void hello. And that's going to do a system out print. That's Java. Console.writeLine. There we go. Hello world. Cool. And so there's some basic content. And then if in our index, let's just say, welcome to the page. And so that is about as basic as we can make this. So let's see what that looks like. So to do that, I have to restart my server. Let's do Hugo serve. And I'm actually going to do a help command here because there's a bunch of extra stuff that we might want, like build drafts. If we do this, if we do -d, we're going to actually get these drafts in there. If I don't do that, we're not going to see any of them. And that's kind of important because if we don't show any of those, nothing's going to work. Everything is set to a draft right now, so we wouldn't see it. So we're going to do -d. And now we're serving this page back up. If I go to Firefox and refresh this, we should see something, or I'm going insane. Let's see here. There's our server. Again, I haven't tried this without the without a theme, so we may need to set that up in order to see something. But I'm gonna try it without it. Doesn't look like we're getting anything. There's one more thing we can try, which is going to be there's another help thing that we can try. Server create. I think we just want. I think I just want to run the normal Hugo command, like this. Yes. So this if I just run Hugo, it creates a public directory. That's your actual compiled site. So we get index.xml. Yeah, we are definitely missing a theme because we got all of this metadata, all this XML. We didn't get any actual content. So we're not serving anything. So let's do that. Let's go find a cool theme that we like. I'm particularly fond of the learn theme, which we can go and grab right now. So let's go search for learn. And here we go. This is the theme. It's just got your table of contents on the left, a little search that just searches the page. I'm gonna move my face. There we go. So it's got a search bar in the top, and then it's got some fun things like tips, and you can embed mermaid and things like that. So we could just download this. The easiest way I found to do this though is actually just to clone the repo. So if we grab this, git clone that, we don't want to just clone it anywhere. We want it in a specific place. So I want to go into themes and git clone it there. That is double the content. Let's do that. And so this is actually going to clone that repo into Hugo theme learn, which is going to actually download the entire theme into that themes folder. It's not everything we need to do, but it's pretty much going to get us almost there. So the next thing we need to do is actually set up the theme. Why is my computer always freezing? I think there's probably an update waiting for my computer because that always seems to happen. I hope that doesn't break everything. So what we need to do is actually configure this. And it doesn't look like they have any instructions here, but that's all right. We can go to the theme documentation, and Visual Studio Code is using 10 gigs of memory again. Why? What if I just kill the one process that's doing all of the bad stuff? It just goes away. Is Visual Studio still working? Okay. So it looks like we found the issue. The issue is the terminal. So apparently Visual Studio's embedded terminal breaks everything. So we're not going to use that anymore. That's fine. We're just going to have to... No, go away. Guess we're going to have to get there manually. PowerShell. So we don't need a administrative prompt anymore. I'll just move that there. Move my face up there. Hopefully that gets it out of the way. And let's go to where we need to go. So that's going to be E, I think. Probably not the recycle bin. Dev world of zero content. And let's go into the blog. Cool. So there we are. Not the most eloquent way to solve this problem, but it'll get us there, and it won't use 10 gigs of RAM to draw a terminal. That's probably not what we should be using that resource for. So, moving on, what we need to do now is clear our terminal, and then do some fun stuff. So, I was getting to themes. We downloaded the theme. So if I cd into the themes folder, it should be there. I don't know, everything was kind of breaking at the end there. But we should have it. If I go into the theme even further, there we go. And looks like we're up to date. Git status. You'll notice my Git status actually changed because I'm working in a project that is already in Git. So PoshGit is actually saying, hey, there's changes. But if we go into this, we didn't subgit or submodule it or anything like that, nothing fancy. We literally just cloned it. So this is actually Git within Git. So it's being a little bit weird, but that's all right. Looks like we're fine there. So I'm gonna back up, and we need to get here. There's all this fun stuff. We can do two things in order to get the theme to work. One of those, making it bigger so you guys can hopefully see. One of those is to set the theme. I don't remember what that command is. So there's an easy way to find what the command is. I'm going to open that for later. And that is in here. There's a configuration thing. Configure Hugo. Here we go. And so in this toml thing, there's a whole list of everything that we can set. We don't care about any of this. We care about themes. And so what we need to do is just set the theme equal to the name of the directory within theme that it is. So if I go back here, I can say theme equals, and we had it set to Hugo theme learn. And so that will configure the theme there. There's another alternative, which is if I do Hugo serve and do some help here, we'll also get this option to give it a theme there. So you can have multiple themes downloaded and actually switch between them just by switching the command line you use to run it. So in this case, let's just do it that way because command line stuff, woo! So let's serve our drafts as well as some of the theme stuff. And so we'll set that equal to Hugo theme learn. And now if I do that, we should get a little bit more. So if I go back here and open this, should be able to go to the parent directory, and there's everything. So we get three things. We get our parents, there's nothing there. there is a child information, welcome to the page, and then there's a subchild, which has our code in it. So if we go back to Visual Studio and look at how everything is showing up, you can kind of see how that's working. We have a parent here. That's our parent root node. These can go as deep as you want. You can make it as complicated or whatever as you need. Then we have a child. In order to set the content for that child, we created this index.md. So that is actually saying, I am this child's content. And then we created something underneath that is the subchild of that child. And that's just more content. So in a blog, for example, you could have sections, and every section could have some sort of title that introduces the section. And then under that, you could have a series of files that just does more about it. So that's pretty much it. The only other thing we might want to do is add something to that parent, because the parent's boring. It doesn't work. So if I add an index file to that parent folder, suddenly this parent here goes away and becomes the child, because I renamed it already. But you get the idea. You can just keep doing this and we get all the fun stuff. So I'm a parent. Woo! There we go. And so by doing that, it should hot reload. Yeah, I'm a parent. Cool. So there is like super basic content. I'm not gonna go and write something really long, but you can see it just kind of gets generated. And then you can use that public directory here. Where did I? There we go. So there is this public directory that we're generating now. In here, let's kill our server. Or try to. There we go. Control C will kill it in Windows. It's just one Control C in Mac or Linux. But anyway, moving on. Hugo. It's going to build the site. Still not going to work because we actually might have. Hold on. Yeah. Sorry. We set the theme in this config.toml. And so because we did that, suddenly we have this index.html and we have all of this other fun stuff. The cool thing is, if you can get this public directory into a docs folder, it will work with GitHub pages, which means you can host these sites on GitHub pages. So the way I've been doing this, the way that I've found that works the best, is to have two folders side by side. So we've got our blog here. What I want to do is create a folder that is at the same level, that's at the root level of my repository, called docs. And inside that docs, we need a index.html file. This index.html file. So we need the root of our site in that docs folder. And so in order to do that, the easiest way I found is in here. So I'm actually going to go on a little search and do some help here. And we are going to find how to do the output destination. I think that's what we want. So let's grab destination. Not sure if this is the right name for it, but we're going to try it. And we need to go one directory up, because we're obviously in the blog directory, and then we want to save it in docs. So if I do this, Hugo should not create that public folder anymore. I'm gonna delete it, like so. So public is gone. We don't have a site anymore. We have all the stuff to generate it. We could make it again, but now if I run this, it should get generated in docs at the root level and not anywhere else. And the advantage of that is that now that it is in docs, or not, what did I do wrong? I missed something clearly, because that didn't work. Yep. Okay. Probably not destination then, because that didn't do what I wanted. So the goal is to get it in docs because then GitHub Pages will pick it up. Whatever I entered didn't work. So we need a output directory. Publish directory. Got it. And it's even got the defaults here are in the parentheses. So you can see the default is going to be public. We don't want it there. Instead, I want it to go to docs. And there we go. And now we're in there again. Let's just run Hugo -D. And so that's going to build our site with our drafts in it. And now, hopefully, we have a docs folder, which is great because it means that I can take this entire thing and push it up to GitHub Pages, and it should just appear and be magic. So let's do that. Why not? This is already configured to be hooked up to GitHub Pages, so it should just work. GitHub Pages isn't configured yet, but we've kind of walked through that. So I'm going to actually push this up here. I'll probably delete it afterwards because I actually don't really want this in this project, but it'll be fine. So let's just, there's a whole bunch of changes here because we have our theme and a bunch of other stuff. Now you can see we've got like jQuery and all this other stuff. That's one of the side effects of this. If you're using like some of the built-in GitHub Pages stuff, you don't necessarily get all of this, which is nice. It doesn't necessarily clutter your repo. But at the same time, I've found this is nicer and it's really easy to work with. So that's been sort of the trade-off that I've been having. So we are going to, that didn't do what I wanted. Add Hugo sample site. And so this is just going to publish everything. So if I do this, we're going to push it. I'll need to sync it, and then we can jump onto GitHub. Looks like we have a change that needs to come down. Cool. And then we can jump over into Git and then hook it all up. So that's the next step. Looks like we've synced. Go here, github.com/world-of-0. And we've got our content page. All this stuff is set up. I'm not signed in right now. So let me do that, and then we can pick right back up and get this actually serving from GitHub. All right, we're signed in. We've got everything ready to go. I need to go into settings, and then just at the main page, we need to turn on GitHub Pages. So there's a source here. We just need to set it to the master branch docs folder. So this is one of the options. The other one is to have just it serve from the master branch. I would recommend this one personally, unless it's specifically a documentation site and that's all you're doing there. But if we do this, GitHub can either serve a bunch of Markdown stuff as just whatever theme you have set, or it can serve an index or an HTML file. We already have the HTML file because it's our generated site. So what I want to do is go here. GitHub's going to give us this nice URL, which is worldofzero.github.io/content. If I go here, we get this. This isn't what I wanted. We have a child, and a subchild. I missed something. We need a root index file. I think that's what I'm missing. Yeah. Okay, I know what I'm missing. If we go here, we have this content. We need a root content thing that's sort of like the home page. So let's create that quick, which is just going to be Hugo new index.md. There we go. And just for the sake of making this a lot better, let's make these not drafts. There we go. Save those because I didn't. Cool. And now this is going to be Welcome home. Sure. So there is an updated version of our stuff. So let's rebuild this, Hugo-D, and that should have made a few changes for us. You can see we have a whole bunch of this new generated stuff in the docs folder, and we have our changes there. So now, update content to be not drafts. Sure. And let's just stage all of those, and then we should be good to commit. I'm working directly with master here. Probably not recommended for something like this because you're just pushing directly to your public repo. So as soon as I push this, everybody's going to see the changes. As soon as that thing stops spinning, GitHub's going to have the changes, and I'm actually going to be able to see them, which means everybody else can see them as well. We don't really want that. Or do we? Because I'm confused now. I had this exact same issue, and that was how I fixed it. And now I'm feeling silly. I don't want that. Okay. Maybe caching is playing an issue. Let's test that out. New private window. Being all sneaky. Nope, it still broke. Well, let me wait a bit, because I'm confused and I need to figure out what's going on, because I don't know. So one sec. I may know what's going on. I think we need to configure our root site. This guy. Right now it's going to like an example.html, and I think I'd have to verify this, but I think that's where some of this other stuff is trying to come from. But I could be wrong. No, it looks like it's just trying to reference it locally, but I'm gonna make the change anyway, because why not? So this is going to point our base URL to this new GitHub pages place. And so let's try regenerating that. Here we go. Bunch of changes now. We've got our YAML configured, and these are switched and moved. Why does it keep moving these? Oh, okay, that's what's going. Is that what's going on? Hold on. Is it thinking content as a folder? We're gonna find out. That may be part of the issue. It may be thinking the directory is in the wrong place, and that could be causing some things to go missing, because GitHub Pages has that extra slash and then whatever your project name is and then some extra stuff. If you don't have that, it's going to look in the wrong place, and that may be why we're missing some of these themes, because everything looks right. So that's the sort of the issue we're having. There's no error here. We're getting all of the stuff that we would expect from our local thing. Like we have the search bar, it's right here. We have our list of topics right there. That's right here. It's all there. It's just not right. And so I'm pretty sure we're missing themes. And so this should fix that. Or it could explode again and not work. Wouldn't be the first time or the second time. So who knows? Update base URL. Cool. Let's stage that and then commit it. And then we should see some things change. So hopefully this resolves our issue and we have a fully working website that we can use for, I don't know, a portfolio or just a personal site or whatever. Yeah, you guys can do whatever you want with this once we get it working. Oh, come on. Don't be like this. Oh. Sad face. It doesn't want to play. Oh, yeah, it's totally missing like everything. Content slash parent. There we go. So yeah, the missing content was the issue. I just don't know why we can't go to the root. So that's still broken, but everything else works. Not sure why. I'm gonna need to look into that a little bit more because this is working. And the way to find this is just whatever the parent node would be. So there you go, I guess. This is our site hosted out on GitHub Pages. Still a little bit buggy because the root directory doesn't work. But hopefully that's not too difficult of a fix. I just probably overlooked something. I'll post a link to the quick start, which actually walks through this entire process. It's right here. And so the whole setting up the theme, the base URL stuff, it'll talk a little bit about that. And there's a few other things. It's actually got some really cool, they're not videos, they're actual simulated terminals. And so this is actually selectable text that you can actually see typed in real time. So it's a terminal that they actually type the commands into, and you'll actually see the results. So you can use that as kind of a getting started place if this was hard to follow, because we kind of ran into some issues. But hopefully if you guys found this useful and you can use it for your own projects or whatever, and hopefully it makes your sites better. So yeah, I'll leave that here. It's not, I don't know, it doesn't do everything, but if you need a static site, this is an option. So let me know if you use it. I'd love to see what you guys make with this. If you have other options for other things that are similar to this, or just other things that you think we should try, let me know in the comments and we can definitely take a look. But that's it for this video. So until next time, see you, internet.